Welcome to Danu on Fire. We have come back to Bombay Borough because hospitality is great and the food tastes good. Why not? With me, I have someone who was here to showcase at Colombo Fashion Week for this year, and he has been here before as well. Suket. Did I say your name right?
Yes, Suket.
There you go. I was worried whether I will say it wrong. So anyway, I'm happy that I passed that stage. So he's a designer. He has always embraced I will say, a story that comes out on the ramp in terms of the color, in terms of the character, in terms of the little minute details that he has when he prints on these fabrics. Or tell me about your art in fashion, because there's a lot of art in your fashion. That's why.
Yes, I'd like to believe so. I like to think so. I mean, I started off as, just a fashion designer, and I think it was about a year and a half in where I actually found my interest in textiles. And but the question was, like, as soon as I dived into, I dove into textiles and weaving, I realized that I always wanted to sort of explore and figure out what next, because as a person from our subcontinent, there's huge amount of history, this huge amount of cultural heritage that is being passed down from our ancestors, from our parents, grandparents. So whenever you see one of those traditional fabrics, for example, I grew up around brocades from Banaras, I grew up around malmals from West Bengal, I grew up around quite a few of those, Kanjivaram saris from south of India. All of those things, and for me, my eyes were almost desensitized. And whenever you meet with people from outside of the country, the kind of faces, the expressions they have when they look at these fabrics, I wanted to feel like that, but I couldn't, because, like I said, was absolutely desensitized. I had the same feeling when I decided what I wanted. When I decided that I maybe want to innovate with these fabrics. So I went to the weavers, sat with the weavers, lived with the weavers, and started working on how to contemporize our traditions. So the skill remains intact, the technique remains intact, but the motif and the material is something that I play around with. I like to stick to traditional materials, but every once in a while I will introduce a new material. For example, wool was a brand new material for my ikat weavers. My ikat weavers had only seen cottons and silks. And as soon as I said the word wool, they went nuts. They were like, no, not possible. And there's in Telugu, I don't even understand that language. It's my wife's language.
Right.
And they said riska. Riska means almost impossible.
Right. Like risk in English.
Yeah, something. I don't know whether it's risk in English, but it just said riska. And I said, I will take that risk. He's like, no, it's impossible. Right. That is how I understood. I made a sorry face. I was like, well, I will lose. He said, lose to who? I said, I will lose to the competition to Pakistan. And they heard, what? And I'm like, yes, the regionals of the International Woolmark Prize are happening in Dubai, where the closest competitor is a Pakistani boy. He's like, no, we will ensure that you win. Tell us what to do. Yeah. So after sending me back twice from Hyderabad, it was a third trip, and it just sort of, I uttered these words and
it
just made sense to them, and they said, well, we will go out of our way and we'll do it.
Brilliant.
So that's what I like to experiment with something. I like to do something new with these, like brocades. I grew up seeing my mom wearing brocades and kanjivarams. So what I did was I bought those brocades after weaving them. I brought them back home. We washed them and we started doing more things with them.
Right.
And all of a sudden, these things, from being iconic products, they became iconic essentials.
True.
So because as soon as brocade loses its sheen a little bit, you can actually repeat it.
Yeah.
And for me, it's very, very important to repeat the products that you buy, because I think that durability and the repeatability, versatility of a product
gives a lot to the community and also the environment, especially today.
And that's what sustainability means to me.
That is true.
I mean, for me, sustainability is not those labels, it's organic, this and that. I mean, yes, of course, all of those things add, but I think the first and foremost, the foundation is, what are you making? Are you making something that will be able to be that you'll be able to use many more times than just wear it once.
Yeah, and also style differently. There's so much that you can grow on. Wanted to ask you, India is such a huge country, and there's so much of culture, there's so much of religion, language, all in this big land. Fashion also could rise sensitivity at times. How do you merge bringing a modern twist in, and at the same time maintaining something that is Indian, having not losing the identity? How have you managed this, especially working with communities that have followed such ancient roots?
There are two ways of approaching it. One is an absolute deracinated way, so where you're not connected to your culture, you're not connected to the religion bit of it, you're not connected to all of those things. And then when you try to, from a very disconnected place, approach and use it in your work, it can go either way, left or right. I mean, it can really sort of backfire sometimes. In my case, I usually come from a place of love. I love my culture, I love my heritage. That's something, and I'd like to believe that I understand a lot of it as well. I've paid a lot of attention. I've worked really hard on understanding our culture. I've read a lot. I've researched a lot. So, for example, what I'm wearing right now, you'll actually see what we've done is we've reinterpreted temple sculptures and put them in a newer format of Olympians, athletes.
Oh, okay.
So you'll actually see the gymnasts, but it'll look like it is a sculpture from the temple, but she's doing gymnastics.
Right. Okay.
So it's things like these. You know, these are subtle sensitivities. We have to be careful, but in my case, I never had to be careful or anything. It's just instinctively it always falls in the right place.
Amazing. We're shooting on Mahasivaratri Day, and it's a huge festival in India and also here. So he's actually vegetarian, so we have given him the vegetarian options, and we have the other things onto my side. We're going to get into a break. We'll see you on the other side. Do stick around. This is Danu on Fire. Welcome back to the show, and we are in conversation with this amazing man. This is your second time showcasing.
Yes.
Okay, so from first time to this time, I just wanted to speak about what is your take on Sri Lankan fashion?
See, it's a slow and a gradual process. I have seen a change, and a positive one, from when I first came here to now. There's a change in the quality of design presentations that we saw. There's a change in just, I think, even the reception of fashion. There is excitement. There is room for fashion. But I think, like all industries, it's a very young industry, and these are things that evolve over a period of time. So I think Colombo Fashion Week is the first step, and it's a big first step. It's the most important step for a fashion industry to evolve. But many more things must happen. For example, the designers need exposure. Not just exposure to international designers and clientele, but also exposure to more materials, more crafts. They need to actually experiment a lot more. There's a lot more out there
that they have to go.
They have to work with.
Yeah.
I think what could actually also start, I would like to be interested in participating in that exercise if it ever happens. I like to discover what were the traditional crafts and textiles of Sri Lanka.
It is very similar to India.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and if some of them are not being practiced at all, why is that the case? and how can we bring
it
them back?
Yeah.
And just around the neighborhood, I mean, and we still have,
All the crafts.
yes, we still have almost all the crafts. It's a 3,000, 4,000 year old heritage that still survives. And I think it's not just our subcontinental heritage, it's human heritage. I think it's our responsibility to sort of continue
alive.
it and keep it
Yeah.
alive. And also it'll give a lot, it'll give the designers a lot to play with.
True.
And I think that can go a long way.
Now, let's speak about you.
Sure.
How would you describe yourself? Are you a man of mystery? Because I haven't even seen half of your face.
Okay, so this is a question I have been pondering over for a long time.
Oh, really?
This can actually go into a little bit of philosophy, but I'll cut it.
That's fine.
to
You can
just
tell
the
me in
real world
philosophical way.
answers.
Just going to serve something for me.
There was a little event that was happening in Paris, and the team from Paris asked me, send us a bio about yourself.
Right.
And I was writing the bio, and the first question popped to me that all of the things that I'm writing, okay, a winner of the Bullmark Prize, this is something that the world has given me,
Yeah.
or recognizes me by. Dressed up the Nobel laureate, and my ensemble has been shortlisted by the Nobel Committee to be displayed at the museum, Nobel Museum. Again, another something that featured on the cover of Economist or the cover of New York Times.
These are all
These
achievements.
are all things that are achievements.
Achieved,
This is not
yeah.
who I am.
True.
But who I am was the question I am still unable to answer. I'm still discovering who I am. I'm still trying to find out. I think the day I find out might also be the day I can call myself Buddha. So,
Right.
so it's what they say, no, Aham Brahmasmi, and
Yeah.
that's the concept. I don't know the answer to that. Who I am on a journey, and on a journey to discover that. I'm still seeking.
Amazing. We need to speak a little bit about the food that we have got here. So this is mutton biryani. This is fish. I've been told my foodie person is not here, unfortunately. I have to also say that because you're vegetarian.
What's this fish?
What's this fish? There.
There's a
Banana
leaf.
leaf wrapped fish. There you go. Got that. Thank you.
Well, if had
it's
I,
quite. It's quite obvious. I didn't know whether it was banana leaf. Sorry, sir. I was thinking it must be some palm or something. You are enjoying paneer because you are veggie.
Yes, I turned vegetarian about a year back.
Right.
Not for any religious reasons. I just sort
Yes.
of realized that I'd not been ordering. So whenever we went, my household is a vegetarian household. We don't
Right.
get. But every time I used to go out, I used to eat non-veg.
Yeah.
Just about a year back, I realized that whenever I'm going out, I'm not ordering non-veg anymore.
Yeah.
So well, that's the day I actually thought might as well put a label to it now. Since
Yeah.
I'm not ordering, might as well.
Yeah. It's
Be
good
a
to be.
vegetarian,
Yeah.
okay.
It's easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
You
I'm-
don't need to ponder through so much in the menu.
As long as you're in the subcontinent,
Yeah.
it's easier.
Yeah. If you go away, you might just eat fries. That's
Exactly.
about it. That's all you're going to get. We're going to get into a break. We'll see you on the other side with something sweet and more with this man after. Welcome back to the show. So I really wanted to speak to you about something before we get to what you showed this year at CFW. You love to road trip
Yes.
and you love to eat from all sorts of places.
Yes.
Okay.
It becomes a little difficult.
Yeah, true. Where do you let go?
Exactly. No, also, especially when you're vegetarian,
That's true.
you can't drive through all terrains and expect good vegetarian to be available.
Yeah.
Mostly, like in a country like ours, here in India, I don't see having a problem.
Yes, true.
But I do. It's going to be a problem when I travel to the US and Europe. It might be.
But you know, you can eat fries and more fries
I think so.
and fries.
I think
Do you
so.
eat cheese?
Well, a little bit sometimes.
There you go, that's good. Because you like bread pudding, I'm sharing with you because you like bread pudding. So, Where have you done these road trips? Always in India? Have you traveled abroad and done road trips?
As of now, only in India.
Okay.
I intend to actually do,
Who is your partner in crime? Do you travel with your wife?
yes.
Okay.
My
She also
wife
likes it?
and another two of my friends. See, it's very important to actually, in a road trip, it's very important to be with the like-minded people.
True.
Like I was telling you about earlier, we'd done a road trip from New Delhi to northeast of India, which is Mizoram and Myanmar border. That whole trip, at least while leaving, we thought that we'll be going for about 15 days. We came back in 27 days. Now, this kind of a trip and this kind of an organic trip can only happen with
You have-
like-minded people.
Correct. I will be the worst person with you.
Yeah, otherwise it'll be like, hey, we're getting late. We decided to come for 15 days. How can it take 2 more days?
True.
Here we are spending 12 extra days, and nobody had a problem.
I know.
And I like making these kind of trips, and it is my
Spontaneous.
plan. I want to actually do a trip
Around Sri Lanka?
around Sri Lanka. So I think it's going to be a nice thing to do. I would like to document it. Maybe I can actually do a video documentary while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
That's something that's floating in my head.
Great. Super.
I want to do craft tourism in
I will
India.
meet you in Colombo when you're going, and I
Yes.
will meet you in Colombo when you're back.
100%.
Yeah.
Maybe I can take your crew along to actually shoot the damn thing.
What
It's
am
going to be
I
nice,
doing?
no? I don't know. They seem like nice people.
They are.
You got good people.
Yeah. I'm blessed with them.
I want good people.
Done. In that case, we'll make a show out of it. We'll just come along.
Done.
This year, it was an international premiere of your collection. Correct?
Yes.
Tell me about your collection this year. It was so beautiful. I saw like leopards having like headphones on.
Yes. There were leopards with headphones. There were leopards with biker jackets. There were a couple of leopards with helmets.
Watching
There
TV.
were black bucks blowing bubble gum.
Yeah.
There were black bucks wearing the leg warmers, and there were other black bucks running around wearing Kevlar jackets, almost like challenging "shoot me if you
Yeah.
can" kind of a.
So you had a story in your fabric.
Yes. So that was one of the botanical prints. The more, I'd say, a floral print that I did. We had squirrels and sparrows doing various things. We had squirrels fishing for berries, and we had sparrows reading newspapers while flying. So I'd say there's a certain amount of wittiness to our print. So usually when you see a print, it is a beautiful print. It's a beautiful floral print. When you see one of Suket Dhir prints, there'll always be a
Story in it.
story, a narrative, a twist. There's a certain amount of wit. It can bring a smile to your face. It can make you think. It's something that you might not notice yourself when you're buying a shirt, but someone else might point out, hey, did you see that this squirrel is actually he's got a fishing rod? I'm like, oh wow, I didn't see that. And so it's that element of discovery that I'm trying to play with. So you buy the clothes and you discover over a period of time few other elements that are a part of your shirt. So every time you look at it from a fresh perspective and you build a relationship with what you wear. So these products become collectibles. So, and they're conversation pieces, like I said.
Definitely. So you're a new daddy.
Yes.
How has fatherhood been?
Well, not so new anymore. It's been 3 years, but 2 of them went through COVID. It's been fantastic. I have an 8-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter, so I'm not that new a daddy.
Yeah, but the latest was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fairly new, and that was.
So
also
where
the
are
reason.
they while you are here?
They're with my mom and dad.
Okay. No
Well,
wonder your dad is still fighting with you. I made sure that he grew up and left. What are these?
I think that's one thing he's not fighting me about.
Yes.
So I think my children are the biggest joy in my parents' life. Every time I look at my kids with my parents, I always wonder where was all that love for me.
They covered it well.
But I grew up with my grandparents as well. I mean, I remember how my grandparents used to adore me, and I see the same thing happening with my kids and parents.
You know, these kids will wrap their grandparents around their fingers.
Oh, they do.
That's where they get everything they want.
They do.
Yeah.
I think grandparents also know that, with us they've experimented, and with them they know that none of those experiments
It
worked.
Just
So
spoiled
they
it.
just let them be. They just spoil them. They're like,
Yeah.
listen, it's not going to work anyway. Might as well spoil them.
You come across like a very calm, collected person. Would you say so?
I'd like to think so.
What ticks you off? Can I annoy you in any way? I would have liked a quick answer saying no, but it's fine.
Stupidity.
Ah, thanks.
So you can't.
See, I told you. Thanks. I think you're the only one who has said it. But yeah, that's great because I've always wondered. Like you seem so calm, collected. Beyond all of that, I love the shoes that you showed this year. My feet can do with a few, but there
With
weren't any
pleasure.
sizes.
This is the first time I was designing shoes actually. It was
they're
the second
stunning.
time technically, but this is the first time I've done some elaborate shoes properly.
And there were no sizes for me at all. It was just
Yeah, I think we went. I goofed up a little.
yeah.
I should have actually had some bigger sizes as well,
Yeah.
but I think we did a good job with shoes
Yeah.
and bags,
Yeah.
and bags and scarves.
Yes, I love the bags that you had.
Yes.
It was stunning. It was
So we're gearing up for the gifting season actually. So that was
Amazing.
the reason why I wanted to do scarves and the bags.
Yeah.
I will be coming with more accessories.
Yeah,
We-
belts.
I
You should do a
am-
range of hats because it's you.
Well, I'm meeting the company
there you
in
go.
Italy, and I think sometime end of summer this year.
Okay, because this is cool.
So hopefully I get to collaborate with them. I like collaborating with
Yeah.
the experts. Someone who
It's nice
knows how
that
to
way.
make hats. I mean, I will do an amateurish job, but if I collaborate with someone who's an expert,
Then you know
we
you're
can
getting
actually
the
come
real
up with
thing.
magic. Exactly,
Yeah.
and I intend to do that. I intend to collaborate with interior designers and architects. I mean, I don't know, people in Sri Lanka, amazing architects here.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I would love to sort of work on,
Interior spaces,
mosaic walls,
yeah.
like individual, one-of-kind
Yeah.
pieces. So that's something that I intend to do. I am already in talks with a couple of companies back home, which are amazing at making carpets. So I want to
Amazing.
get into that. There's so many things I want to do, but a step at a time.
One at a time. Well, I must say before we wrap things up, thank you so very much to Bombay Borough for hosting us and being so hospitable as always. I would also like to let you know, the first time I met him, so much of comfort in the way he spoke. That was a loud phone call.
I was
There was so much of comfort in the way he spoke. He was so casual, so friendly, so approachable, and I really did connect with him in terms of his fashion outlook. This year around, I so wanted to have him on the show. He has actually cut short his golf trip and come here to Colombo. Thank you so very much. It was lovely.
Thank you so much for having me. It was
Alright.
so much fun.
Superb. I can't wait to have you once more. Safe flight back to India. We will see you soon with another cool episode. To Danu on Fire. Till then, you keep smiling. Here's a wrap.